Happy sopping wet solar Sunday, live from Northern California, where we are experiencing an atmospheric river of rain pouring down in the area, which is wonderful because we need the rain desperately. But I think it's a lot of rain coming down, and it's just crazy. But the good news is for everyone who has solar panels installed on their rooftop, they are being cleaned for you. So that is good. So after the rains have passed, you're probably going to see a little bit, well, maybe not so much right now because we're kind of heading in from summertime into uh, fall, or we're fall and winter. So we're seeing a drop in our solar production, but you will see a nice clean solar panel. So when the sun is out there, it's going to be generating more power for your home because your solar panels are cleaned. At least that is what ended up happening with ours. So our solar panels, you might be wondering what happens to solar power or solar panels during the rain. Does your solar system generate energy? And the answer is yes. It's just not going to be a full day's production. So far, I was checking my solar monitoring for our solar system. And so far, as of noontime, 1:30, we have generated 103 watts of power. So we are almost fully relying on the grid, and debiting from our credits that we have been generating and building up until this day. So since, summertime is when you're going to generate the most amount of energy, and then in the wintertime, you're oftentimes going to be using more. You're still going to get solar power, but you're going to be using energy from the grid and debiting from your net energy metering credits. So a couple of good things happen during a rainfall. Your solar panels get cleaned, and you still are going to generate just enough, a little bit of energy. But some people wonder, do your solar panels still produce energy? And the answer is yes, just not very much. And then what happens, this is something, I was at a solar installation last week, and we were starting to get the rainfall, and the installation crew arrived, and I had told the homeowner the night before, this is all pending weather. Of course, we're anticipating rain, and we don't know if it's going to rain or not because it was like a 60% chance of rain. Sure enough, it was drizzling and it was a little rainy, and the crew ended up kind of sticking it out and seeing and waiting around. The electrician ended up sticking behind that day and doing some prepping the house, the electrical work for the house. And then the next day, the rains did come, but they were able to get much of the system installed, meaning they laid down all of the mounting racks and railings for the solar panels. They got the conduit kind of set up between they have two arrays. So one really big one, and then one array that has I think 3 panels on it, and they got the inverter all installed. So all they have to do on Monday, if there's no rain tomorrow, because I think the rain is supposed to pass tonight, and tomorrow they should be able to come and install and finish just putting the panels in and then tying it in. The thing that I asked them, though, is what happens when there is rain, or you're installing on a wet roof, or a roof that might have some, the weather might start drizzling. And he said they use an extra thick adhesive that's kind of like a tar. And so it's going to guarantee there are no leaks in and around the footings of where they install the solar panels. So a long, long time ago, before I was ever in solar, you would hear nightmare stories of installations happening and having roof leaks. They do happen, but they're happening less and less and less and less, and almost guaranteed, pretty much guaranteed now, with the method that they use and the equipment that they use to install the footings that go into the roof. So it's basically foolproof. Water can't penetrate or even get in to those where they drill and screw in the footings into the roof. So that's a good thing, because you don't want a roof leak. That's something that does get asked every now and then. What happens if there's a roof leak? Well, the installer is going to come out and fix it, and hopefully take care of you if there was any damage with the roof. But I have yet to have a roof leak I've had a homeowner have a leak that they thought maybe was solar related, but it ended up being their HVAC system and some um, I don't even know what it's called, piping or vents that were not sealed properly. So condensation was getting in and causing leaking. So interestingly enough, it was not solar related. So that was good. But yeah, back in the day, it happened more frequently. Now, technology and the way that it's installed has vastly improved. And so you don't really see or hear of, or you shouldn't see or hear of leaks anymore. So that's really, really, really cool. So yeah, the sun is not shining nearly as much as it does during the summertime, but you should, if you live in a place where we see a lot of sunshine, it's about right now a I would say 3 to 5 month process if you're just getting solar. 3 months is really fast and not as realistic as it used to be pre-COVID and whatnot. But if you're just getting solar, anticipate about 4 to 5 months from start to finish. And if that's the case, then you want to take advantage of solar for this coming summer. You want to start looking at solar now. So I actually had a solar conversation today with a homeowner who's interested in solar. And we had a little discovery call and we were discussing like, why does he want solar and what's going on with his home now? And so it was kind of a good conversation to have. And I really appreciated that he was interested in looking at solar so he can be prepared for the summertime. Because people who start looking at solar in the summertime, they're not going to get their solar turned on and producing in time to capture the ideal time of year for solar, which is June, July, August, September-ish timeframe. So if you want to be prepared and ready to capture that, you should start looking at solar now, all through the winter, and then get installed and be prepared for the summertime. So that's just something I wanted to share with you guys today when it comes to timing. Timing is everything, right? We're not going to install solar panels on your roof if it's pouring down rain. But if there is breaks in the sun, breaks in the rain, and the roof has dried out enough, they're going to still, solar installation crews that are trained and well experienced, they're going to still go ahead and do everything they can to get your solar installed. Main service panel upgrades, I'm dealing with a lot of them, and those it adds time to the timeline. So if you are a homeowner and you want solar for your home and you have an older main service panel, it will likely need to be upgraded. It might be a like for like upgrade, meaning 100 to 100 or 100 to 125. And depending on how the electricity is fed fed to your house, if it's overhead or if it's underground, really determines what it will take to upgrade it if you wanted to go all the way to 200 amps. So just know if you get solar and you need a main service panel upgrade, it will add a little bit of time because we have to coordinate that with the utility company. So I have a couple of homeowners that are having that all done. Their main service panels are being upgraded, and it's just adding a little bit of time to the timeline. It's a lot of coordination. And if you don't know if you need a main service panel upgrade and you want to find out, just go out to your house and open up the service panel, which should be right next to your smart meter. The smart meter is the round dial that has a digital meter or digital reading, and you can check that. And either right beside it or below it, you're going to see a little panel. You can lift it up, and there's a main service disconnect. If it's old and rusty, it likely is going to need to be replaced. About to sneeze. It went away. If it's an old Zenska one, it will likely need to be replaced and upgraded, and you don't want to not have it done. So, but some of the houses that were built after the year 2000 oftentimes were constructed with 200 amp main service panels, just part of the building code. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, so solar plus main service panel upgrades are common things. Don't be surprised if when you start looking at solar, if you're going to find out whether or not you need that. So Let's see. We have Lewis. Hi, Lewis. I hope. How's the weather where you're at? We have an atmospheric river flowing over California, dumping a ton of rain. It was so heavy that it was like blowing left and right. It's kind of crazy. But I grew up in Washington State, so I'm not too, I mean, rain is rain. I went out, I had one of my daughter's classmates' mom stop by today to drop something off because we're going to put together a little Halloween package. And she goes, "Don't come out in the rain." I go, "Oh, it's no big deal. I grew up in Washington where people, yes, they use umbrellas, but it's not that big of a deal if you're going to be out in the rain for a couple of seconds." But um, hope it's not pouring and raining where you're at. But it is kind of nice to have the rain. I just hope it passes soon because I don't want any flooding. There's lots of flooding and flash floods, which is crazy. Partially because we've been in a drought for so long. Um, yeah. So solar work during cloud cover and rain? Yes, just very, very small. Not very much energy is going to be generated. People were kind of wondering, like, is the power, like, if trees are falling, what happens to the power lines? Well, if the power lines in your area go down, then you're out without power. So we are waiting. We cannot wait for our Tesla Powerwall to be installed and commissioned. So we probably have another month or two before that's all completed. But I'm really looking forward to having the Powerwall installed and operational for events like this where there's weather and potential power outages, not just because of wildfires or red flag warnings, but in case there's ever a tree that gets knocked down on a power line and the power goes off. So it'll be just a nice peace of mind to know that we have power supplying our home in the event of a power outage. Denver was mild and blue skies today. Wow. Flew in from Texas where it was muggy and hot. That is so crazy because we're in October. I've heard that Texas can just be not very pleasant and weather-wise. And I heard that in some parts of Texas this year they had the like huge problems with mosquitoes. So I'm glad I don't live in Texas because mosquitoes love my blood and I would have been probably eaten alive and that would have been miserable. Well, I'm glad you have blue skies there in Denver. So that's what I wanted to come on live and discuss with you guys whether or not solar produces during the rainy season. Obviously, you're going to see a dip in your production. If the power goes out and you have solar and it's a storm, you're not really going to have power, and power goes out, your solar system kicks off. It doesn't produce energy. It shuts down for safety purposes until power is restored. But if you have a backup battery and if you've loaded that battery up with power that's been generated by your solar system, days before cloud cover, rain, storm, etc., then you'll be good to go for the capacity of the batteries. And the Tesla Powerwalls are like 13 and a half kilowatt hours. So you probably can rest assured that you have at least 12 and a half kilowatt hours of stored power. And if the power goes out, you still should be conservative with your energy consumption. So, don't be running all your lights and you can't run all of your appliances on one power wall, but just go into conservation mode. So it'll last you until the power is restored or until the clouds dissipate and you can recharge your battery if you're still, because batteries, batteries will enable your solar system to continue producing if there's a power outage. But if you don't have a battery and the power goes out, your solar system shuts off. So that's just a little tidbit for you guys to know about how batteries work. If you're interested in solar or having a conversation about solar for your home, you can go to my website, JaimeGreeneTheSolarQueen.com. And there's a little video there, and you're welcome to fill out the form. And if you want me to put together actual proposal, you can answer a few questions and upload your utility bill, and I can put together a solar proposal. I'll probably call you first because that's what I do. I like to call and have a conversation before I even put together a solar proposal. But that's one way that you can do that. So I hope everyone who is watching the replay or watching live now that lives in California, that you're staying dry and warm and that you're not having any roof. I saw a friend on Facebook. She has a roof leak and it's going to be a bummer. I feel bad for this homeowner because they have a CalPac roof, a metal roof. It's going to be really probably difficult to figure out where the water leak is coming in. CalPac, in case you wanted to know, CalPac roofing is a metal roofing, and they're like these sheets of metal, like it's kind of like scalloped roofing. And my understanding is years ago, some metal roofing companies came through, and we live kind of not too far from open space. So if there is a fire, we're near open space where, you know, there could be a potential for wildfire. And what they would do is they would come and put the metal roof on top of the existing roof, whether it be wood shingle or composite shingles. And they would sell it on the fact that this is going to last you 50 plus years. If there's a fire, it's going to help keep the fire from getting on your roof and burning down your house from like embers flowing and stuff. So I can see the selling point in that. But oftentimes it's just sheet metal that's, like I said, scalloped and put onto the roof, and it easily bends. It's nearly impossible to put solar on top of that roof if you were to go directly onto the roof. So people with CalPac roofs, they either have to do it's like they cut out an area and they do a partial re-roof where they cut out the area where the solar is going to go of the roofing, and then they seal it all up, and then they put composite shingles down where the metal once was, and that's where they drill in and put the solar system on the roof if you have CalPac. Roy says you can add DC to DC converter, HU to alternator. That is a technical stuff. I'm sure you could. So DC is direct current to direct current converter. I don't know what HU to alternator is. You'll have to explain a little bit more about that. But going back to CalPac metal roofing, it's like you don't ever want to walk on it. You don't want to have leaks because then you have to figure out where it is at, and then somebody who's an expert in CalPac roofing needs to come out and help fix that. So just a little FYI in case you didn't know about CalPac roofing. Other metal roofs, like if it's metal shingles, like actual metal pieces of metal that look like shingles, those shouldn't be so much of a problem to install on, or those like farmhouse looking flat metal with the ridges, those are easily you can easily install solar on those roofs as well. But yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh, hi, Robert Brooker. Hi, and Robert says hello to Lewis. I hope you guys are all doing well. I've been missing you on the Thursday Night Grow Live Academy calls because my two sons have been having back-to-back soccer practices, which has made it impossible for me to come to our group calls. In case you're wondering what that is, my friend Ken Walls teaches people how to go live and live stream like I'm doing right now. And Robert is a part of that Grow Live Academy. And Ken Walls, he's an awesome teacher, teaching people how to go live and educate or have conversations or share things. And so that's what I enjoy doing. Real football. Yes, the real football that you play on the pitch. I just learned that the soccer field is not a soccer field, it's a pitch. Partly from Ted Lasso, and also just because I've been learning the lingo a little more. I did not grow up playing soccer. I had no clue, but if you are watching or if you haven't watched Ted Lasso, it's excellent. It's a really fun show and I really enjoy it. I think I'm needing to start watching season 2 or something. I got kind of got behind in my Ted Lasso stuff. So that's it. I'm going to end the show right now, but please go to JamieGreeneTheSolarQueen.com if you're interested in solar for your home. If you're interested in solar for your business, you can reach out to me there too. I have, or send me a message here on Facebook. I'm happy to have that conversation with you guys. And we're coming up close to the end of the 26% federal tax credit to be able to claim for the 2021 year. And that's simply because technically you need to be commissioned by the utility company to get that tax credit. So if you're starting the solar process now and you're not commissioned by December 31st, you're going to have to wait till the following year to file for that, which is still great. You should still do it because it's 26% of the cost of your solar system being covered by a tax credit, which is amazing. Hopefully, it will continue on into 2023, but no one can guarantee that. So right now, it's going to be good until the end of 2022. So if you've been thinking about it, do not delay, do not wait, do not hold off. Go ahead and get the solar installed. I did see a little bump in the price of solar panels, just a tiny, tiny bump. I think some of this might have to do with shipping and things like that. Who knows? But a lot of the solar panels that we use are manufactured in America. So that shouldn't be an issue. But maybe truck drivers can't get into California. That could be an issue as well. But you should nonetheless start the conversation, especially if you don't know where to start. That's the best thing. It's just we can just hop on a phone call and talk. So have a great Sunday. Stay dry, stay warm, stay healthy. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.